Shadows of the Past. The Seattle rain drummed against the floor-to-ceiling windows of Gabriel Reed's penthouse office. He stared at the city below, gray and blurry through the water-streaked glass, much like his life these past 3 years. "Mr. Reed, the board is expecting your decision on the West Shore Children's Clinic by tomorrow," his assistant, Marcus, reminded him, sliding a folder across the polished mahogany desk. Gabriel turned, his expression unreadable. At 38, his dark hair was already threaded with silver at the temples, his face etched with lines that spoke of grief rather than age. "The numbers don't support keeping it open. Simple business. There's been some community pushback. Perhaps you should visit before making your final decision." Gabriel scowled. "Since when do I care about pushback? If it's not profitable, it closes." But something in Marcus's steady gaze made him sigh. "Fine, schedule it. 1 hour, no more." The West Shore Children's Clinic was nestled in a working-class neighborhood, its cheerful yellow paint peeling at the edges. Gabriel felt immediately out of place as he stepped from his Aston Martin, his tailored suit a stark contrast to the humble surroundings. Inside, colorful artwork adorned the walls, and the waiting room buzzed with children's laughter. Gabriel's chest tightened. Children reminded him of dreams lost when Sarah's heart failed unexpectedly, leaving him a widower before they could start the family they'd planned. "Mr. Reed, we weren't expecting you until this afternoon." A woman approached, her dark curls pulled back in a practical ponytail, warm brown eyes regarding him with surprise. "And you are?" he asked curtly. "Sophia Martinez, head nurse." She extended her hand, her grip firm and confident. "I'm guessing this isn't a social call." Gabriel noticed the faint shadows under her eyes, the determined set of her jaw. "I'm evaluating whether this clinic remains open. The data suggests it's a drain on resources." Her expression hardened. "Data doesn't capture everything, Mr. Reed. Follow me." She led him through corridors where children with various ailments were being treated, introducing him to patients and their families. Each one had a story, and Sophia knew them all. Her compassion was evident in every interaction, her dedication unmistakable. "Most of these families can't afford private health care," she explained. "Without us, they'd have nowhere to turn." "That's not my problem," Gabriel replied, though with less conviction than he intended. Sophia stopped abruptly. "Everything's a problem to be solved for you billionaires, isn't it? Except you're looking at spreadsheets instead of people." Their conversation was interrupted by a small voice. "Mama, I finished my homework." A girl of about 7 with her mother's dark curls bounded toward them, stopping short when she spotted Gabriel. "Emma, this is Mr. Reed. He owns the building." Sophia's tone softened as she introduced her daughter. The child studied him with curious eyes. "Are you a doctor too?" "No," Gabriel replied stiffly. "I'm a businessman." "Oh," Emma looked disappointed. "Can you fix broken things, though?" "My telescope is stuck." Before Gabriel could respond, a commotion erupted from one of the examination rooms. Sophia rushed toward the noise, leaving Gabriel with Emma. "Your mother seems dedicated," he said awkwardly. Emma nodded solemnly. "She helps everyone, even when she's tired, even when it's hard." Her simple words carried more weight than all the financial reports Gabriel had reviewed. When Sophia returned, Gabriel found himself asking, "How much time do you need to demonstrate improved outcomes?" Her eyes widened in surprise. 3 months. Give us 3 months to show you what we can do." Gabriel shouldn't extend the timeline. It was bad business. Yet something in Sophia's determined gaze made him nod. 3 months. Not a day more. As he left, he caught sight of Sophia embracing Emma, their foreheads touching as they shared a quiet moment. The image stayed with him long after he'd returned to his empty penthouse, where the shadows of the past seemed to stretch longer with each passing day. Unexpected connections. Gabriel found himself returning to West Shore Children's Clinic more frequently than necessary over the following weeks. He told himself it was for due diligence, but there was something about the place, or perhaps someone, that pulled him back. On his 4th visit, he arrived to find Sophia kneeling beside a young boy with asthma, demonstrating proper inhaler technique. Her patience struck him. She explained the same steps multiple times without a hint of frustration. "You're good with them. Gabriel commented when she finished. Sophia glanced up, clearly surprised to see him again. Children are honest. They tell you exactly what they need if you listen closely enough. Her gaze sharpened. Unlike some adults I know, Gabriel almost smiled at her barb. I'm being transparent about the clinic situation. Are you? Sophia crossed her arms. Then why do I feel like there's more to your decisions than numbers? Before Gabriel could respond, Emma appeared, clutching a science textbook. Mom, can I go to the planetarium this weekend for my project? The whole class is going. Sophia's expression faltered slightly. We'll talk about it later, sweetie. Gabriel recognized that look, the careful calculation of a parent trying to balance a child's hopes against financial realities. He'd seen his own mother wear it often enough after his father abandoned them. The observatory at Reed Technologies is better equipped, he found himself saying. I could arrange a private tour? Two pairs of identical brown eyes stared at him in surprise. Really? Emma's face lit up. Mr. Reed, that's not necessary, Sophia began. It's no trouble. Consider it research for my evaluation. Gabriel couldn't explain why he'd made the offer, except that Emma's enthusiasm reminded him of the wonder he'd once felt about the universe before grief narrowed his world. Saturday found Gabriel waiting awkwardly in the lobby of Reed Technologies' research division. When Sophia and Emma arrived, he was struck by how different Sophia looked outside of work, her hair loose around her shoulders, wearing jeans and a simple blue sweater instead of scrubs. This place is amazing, Emma exclaimed, gazing at the massive telescope and interactive displays. As the afternoon progressed, Gabriel found himself genuinely enjoying their company. Emma's questions were thoughtful, her curiosity infectious. Sophia gradually relaxed, her laughter coming more easily when Emma convinced Gabriel to participate in a simulated spacewalk. You're not what I expected, Sophia admitted quietly as they watched Emma explore a meteorite display. And what did you expect? Gabriel asked. Someone colder, more removed. She studied him. There's more to you than the ruthless businessman, isn't there? Gabriel looked away. Don't be fooled by one afternoon. Later, as they walked toward the parking lot, Emma slipped her small hand into his unexpectedly. The simple gesture sent a jolt through Gabriel's carefully constructed barriers. Thank you for today, Sophia said as they reached her modest sedan. Emma hasn't been this excited about anything in a long time. Mom works really hard, Emma added seriously. She doesn't get to have fun much. Sophia flushed. Emma! It's true, the child insisted. You're always tired. Gabriel observed the shadows under Sophia's eyes, the way she carried tension in her shoulders. Perhaps your mother could use a night off. There's a benefit gala for children's health care next weekend. The clinic could use representation. Are you asking me to accompany you to a gala? Sophia looked genuinely perplexed. Professionally speaking, Gabriel clarified quickly. For networking purposes. A date. Emma clapped her hands. Mom, you should wear that pretty dress from Aunt Rosa's wedding. It's not a date, both adults said simultaneously, then looked at each other in awkward silence. As Gabriel watched their car drive away, he realized with surprise that for the first time in years, he was looking forward to something. The thought was as comforting as it was terrifying. Walls coming down. The Children's Healthcare Gala transformed the Seattle Art Museum into a glittering wonderland. Gabriel adjusted his bow tie, scanning the crowd for Sophia. When he finally spotted her, his breath caught momentarily. She wore a simple emerald dress that brought out flecks of gold in her eyes. Her hair was swept to one side, revealing the elegant curve of her neck. She looked beautiful but uncomfortable, clutching her small purse like a lifeline. You came, Gabriel said, approaching her. I almost didn't, Sophia admitted. I feel out of place among all these benefactors. You belong here more than most, he replied, surprising himself with his sincerity. They write checks. You do the actual work. Throughout the evening, Gabriel found himself gravitating toward Sophia. He introduced her to influential donors, standing back with unexpected pride as she eloquently described the clinic's impact. Her passion was magnetic. By the end of the night, she had secured promises of substantial donations. That was incredible, Gabriel told her as they escaped to the museum's rooftop garden. The Seattle skyline sparkled beneath them, the night air cool against their skin. Sophia laughed, the sound warming something long frozen inside him. I can't believe people just pledge thousands of dollars based on a conversation. You showed them what matters. Gabriel studied her profile in the moonlight. You have a gift for making people care. Even cold-hearted billionaires? She teased, turning to face him. Especially them, he replied softly. They stood close enough that he could smell her perfume, something subtle and floral. For a moment, neither spoke, the air between them charged with possibilities. Why did you really bring me here tonight? Sophia finally asked. Gabriel hesitated, unused to emotional honesty. Being around you and Emma reminds me of things I thought I'd lost. What happened to you, Gabriel? Her use of his first name felt intimate, breaking down another barrier. The story spilled out before he could stop it. How he'd met Sarah in college, built his company with her encouragement, planned their future together, and then lost everything when an undiagnosed heart condition took her suddenly one ordinary Tuesday morning. I was in a board meeting when she died, he confessed, the guilt still raw. She called, but I didn't answer. Sophia's hand found his, her touch gentle but grounding. You couldn't have known. After that, I threw myself into work. It was easier than feeling. And now, her question hung between them. Instead of answering, Gabriel leaned forward, brushing his lips against hers. The kiss was tentative at first, then deepened as Sophia responded, her hands sliding up to his shoulders. When they broke apart, Gabriel felt dizzy with something like hope. I should get you home, he whispered. Emma's waiting. The drive to Sophia's modest apartment was filled with charged silence. At her door, they kissed again, more urgently this time. Would you like to come in? She asked, her voice barely audible. Gabriel followed her inside, where they found Emma's babysitter asleep on the couch. After Sophia paid the teenager and checked on her sleeping daughter, she returned to find Gabriel examining the family photos that lined her living room walls. She looks like you, he said, indicating a picture of Emma as a toddler. Everyone says that. Sophia moved closer. Gabriel, I need to be clear. Emma is my whole world. I can't afford complications or temporary things. Gabriel turned to her, cupping her face gently. I don't know what this is yet, but it doesn't feel temporary. Their lips met again, and this time neither pulled away. As clothing was gradually discarded and they moved toward her bedroom, Gabriel felt walls crumbling inside him, walls he'd built methodically since Sarah's death, now falling under Sophia's tender touch. In the quiet aftermath, Sophia's head resting on his chest, Gabriel realized with startling clarity that for the first time in 3 years, he wasn't thinking about the past. Instead, his mind was filled with possibilities of what might come next. Storms. Approaching the following weeks unfolded like a dream for Gabriel. Mornings spent in meetings were now punctuated by text messages from Sophia, small glimpses into her day that he found himself eagerly anticipating. Evenings often found him at their modest apartment, helping Emma with science projects, or simply enjoying quiet dinners together, a domestic simplicity he'd never imagined craving again. The 3-month deadline for the clinic's evaluation approached, but Gabriel had already drafted plans for expansion rather than closure. He kept this decision to himself, wanting to surprise Sophia with the news at the right moment. You seem different, Marcus commented one afternoon as they left a board meeting. Happier. Gabriel couldn't deny it. Perhaps I've gained some perspective. It wouldn't have anything to do with a certain nurse and her daughter, would it? His assistant's knowing smile made Gabriel uncomfortable with its accuracy. Before he could respond, his phone rang. Sophia's name flashed on the screen. Gabriel? Her voice was tight with anxiety. I need your help. 20 minutes later, Gabriel strode into the clinic to find Sophia in her office, her face pale. He's back, she said without preamble. Emma's father. Gabriel felt a cold weight settle in his stomach. I thought he wasn't in the picture. He hasn't been. Not since before Emma was born. Sophia's hands trembled slightly. Diego left when I told him I was pregnant. I haven't heard from him in 8 years, and suddenly he shows up claiming he wants to be part of Emma's life. What does he really want? Gabriel asked, recognizing the situation for what it likely was. Money, Sophia confirmed. He somehow found out about you, about us. He's threatening to file for partial custody unless I compensate him for his sacrifice. Gabriel's jaw tightened. He won't get away with this. You don't understand, Sophia said, her voice breaking. Diego comes from a wealthy family in Argentina. They cut him off because of his gambling, but they have connections. If he really pushes for custody, he could make things difficult. Let me help, Gabriel urged, reaching for her hand. Sophia pulled away, surprising him. This is exactly what I was afraid of. Emma is already attached to you, and now everything's complicated. I can't have her hurt when what? Gabriel felt a familiar chill creeping back into his chest. When this ends, she finished quietly. Men like you don't end up with women like me, Gabriel. Not long term. Her words stung more than he expected. That's not fair, isn't it? 3 months ago, you were ready to close this clinic without a second thought about the lives affected. Your world and mine are different. They don't have to be, he insisted. Their argument was interrupted by Marcus calling. Sir, there's a situation at the office requiring your immediate attention. The Singapore deal is falling apart. Gabriel hesitated, torn between responsibilities. Go, Sophia said firmly. This is my problem to solve. We'll talk tonight, he promised. But when Gabriel arrived at Sophia's apartment that evening after resolving the crisis, he found Emma alone with the babysitter. Miss Martinez said to give you this, the teenager said, handing him a folded note. Gabriel's heart sank as he read Sophia's handwriting. I need time to handle this my way. Please don't try to contact us for a while. Emma can't afford to lose someone else she's grown to care about. Looking around the apartment, he noticed small signs of hasty packing. They were gone, and the fragile new beginning he'd allowed himself to imagine was suddenly as insubstantial as morning mist. Hearts rewritten. For 3 days, Gabriel respected Sophia's request for space, though every hour without contact felt like an eternity. On the 4th morning, he made a decision. If Sophia wouldn't allow him to help directly, he would find another way. I need everything you can find on Diego Martinez, he instructed his security team. Former addresses, gambling debts, legal issues, everything. While they worked, Gabriel finalized his plans for the children's clinic. What had begun as a simple business evaluation had evolved into something deeply personal. The expanded facility would include specialized care units, extended hours, and a scholarship program for medical students dedicated to community service. When his team delivered their findings on Diego, the picture was exactly what Gabriel had expected: a history of abandoned responsibilities, unpaid debts, and broken promises. Armed with this information, he arranged a meeting. Diego Martinez sat across from Gabriel in the private room of an upscale restaurant, exuding false confidence. I wondered how long before you'd reach out. He smirked. How much is my silence worth to you? Nothing, Gabriel replied coldly. But your absence from Emma's life might be valuable to you. He slid a folder across the table containing evidence of Diego's outstanding gambling debts and tax evasion. Your family in Argentina would be devastated to learn their name is attached to such behavior, wouldn't they? Diego's smug expression faltered. What do you want? Sign away any claim to Emma, then leave Seattle permanently. In exchange, your debts disappear, and your family never learns how close you came to real legal trouble. After Diego grudgingly signed the papers Gabriel's lawyers had prepared, Gabriel added, one more thing. Tell me where they are. Finding the small coastal motel where Sophia had taken refuge wasn't difficult. What would be challenging was convincing her to trust him again. Gabriel stood on the beach, watching Emma build a sandcastle while Sophia sat nearby, her expression distant as she gazed at the horizon. She misses you, a voice said behind him. Gabriel turned to find Sophia's sister Rosa watching him carefully. That's why I called you. She told me to stay away, Gabriel replied. Rosa shook her head. My sister is used to handling everything alone. Sometimes she forgets she doesn't have to anymore. Gathering his courage, Gabriel approached them. Emma spotted him first, her face lighting up as she ran toward him. "Gabriel, you found us!" Sophia stood slowly, uncertainty written across her features as she watched her daughter throw her arms around Gabriel's waist. "We need to talk," he said quietly when he reached her. They walked along the shoreline while Emma stayed with her aunt, the sound of waves providing privacy for their conversation. "Diego won't be troubling you anymore," Gabriel began. "It's been legally handled." Sophia stopped walking. "I told you not to interfere. You told me not to contact you. There's a difference." Gabriel took a deep breath. "Sophia, when Sarah died, I thought that was it for me. One chance at happiness, gone forever. Then I met you and Emma, and everything changed. Gabriel, please let me finish. You said men like me don't end up with women like you. But what if that's exactly what's supposed to happen? What if you're exactly who I need? Someone who sees past my wealth to who I really am. Someone who reminds me what matters." Tears gathered in Sophia's eyes. "I was scared. Not just of Diego, but of depending on someone again. Of Emma loving you and then losing you." Gabriel took her hands in his. "I'm not going anywhere. The clinic isn't just staying open, it's expanding. I've established a foundation in Emma's name to support children's healthcare initiatives across the state." "You did that for us?" Sophia whispered. "I did it because of you," he corrected. "You reminded me that there's more to life than profit margins. You and Emma taught me how to feel again." Gabriel knelt on the sand, pulling a small velvet box from his pocket. Inside nestled a simple yet elegant diamond ring. "I don't want to waste any more time. Life is too unpredictable, too precious. Marry me, Sophia. Let me be there for both of you, always." Sophia's tears spilled over as she nodded, unable to speak. When she finally found her voice, she said, "Emma will be ecstatic." "Is that a yes?" Gabriel asked, his heart pounding. "Yes." She laughed through her tears. Yes to building a life together. As they walked back toward Emma, hand in hand, Gabriel felt the last shadows of his past finally receding. The man who had once sworn never to risk his heart again had found something stronger than fear. A family worth loving, a future worth embracing, and a heart completely rewritten.